Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and today I've got turn 32. Still managing to keep up with the recordings in a live sense, and I think I'm getting pretty close to the point where maybe I can release turn 1. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We get 2 messages from Xibalba. Should I sneak 200 doggos on the cap, or should I doomstack? Decisions. Unless they have very high stealth, you won't make it to the capital. Unless they go in separate squads. So I think you should doomstack and blitz towards the cap. The zoo is something like 30 Aussies, 5 sacred scorpions, 200 doggos, 50-ish cap sacreds. Yep, I think that's really solid. Considering how well he did in expansion against the Palankashas, it could be enough to knock Lanka out of the game, especially with that other army so far afield. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. I'm not seeing any action yet between Mekone and Tianchi. Maybe that's still counting down. I do see a couple of fights though. It seems like things have started to slow down between Lanka and Hinnom. So let's go ahead and check out the Berytos battle. So we've got the Pretender going out, getting Mist Form, point buffed. We have Personal Regen. Does he still have his limp? He still does. Personal Regen, Fire Shield. Ah, another Barbarian Horde. That looks like a little bit of bleeding, but should be fine. Alright. Let's see. Yeah. And then we've got an attack on Xibalba. So an assassination. We do have some bodyguards, though. These attacks normally happen when you're blood hunting in weak Dominion. Typically, I pretty much never see them in high Dominion. Alright. So, defends that. Oh joy. So now we're losing our Dominion. Just can't catch and break his Omniscience. Although, I do believe we had a little bit of contact with the mod maker where we asked for Fortune Teller on the Omniscience monoliths, and that should help control some of the events that happen to Omniscience players. Alright. We have another Barbarian Assault on Lanka. Okay, I think somebody just pinged me, but hopefully they don't ping again. Yeah, so we got another raid on Lanka. Alright, sorry about that, a little bit distracted. We've got Independence attacking Marverni. We've got a Lumber Construct, Bark Song. Depending on how this stuff behaves, it might do okay. Although I think it probably just loses the 1v1 to the Pegasus, but we'll see. What's this attack? 7, yeah. If it had a little bit higher attack, it could reasonably kill this. But as it stands. Alright, and then in Troll Canyons, we've got some illusions attacking. I don't think this is enough illusion. Well, it might be enough illusions. Can these guys hurt each other? It's a magic attack. Mindless. Looks like the PD commander has created enough illusions that they should be okay. What's their attack skill? 10. Defense skill 10. I do wonder if they can... Okay, we do see some casualties up there. And then they dissolve. That was interesting. Okay. As much as I've played Dom 6, I'm not sure if I've seen a lot of illusions fighting illusions. Alright. Oh, and then we've got the main course, which is the Sauromatia and Hinnom and Lanka versus Hinnom. So Lanka's going to move on the cap. Let's see that. And it's just the capital PD. Okay. So loses one Solus Marcata, but otherwise puts Hinnom under siege. Now, Sauromatia attacks Zemiki, which is the fort that Hinnom has under siege. So this is their effort to relieve the siege. They've got a bunch of Oreopata. We've got Divine Blessing, Awakened Tattoos, which doesn't help a lot. It gives a little bit of, I mean, +1 MR. The invulnerability is not going to do anything, at least against the Rephites. Well, I mean, it'll help against the Gores, the Gore attacks, but so it is useful. It might just be the best that he's got right now as well. And we've got some Lancers. I'm very concerned for this attack, especially with the Sayer here. I think Hinnom carries this, and Hinnom probably follows through and takes the fort. We'll have to see. I forget, did Hinnom get off a Divine Blessing? It looks like he did. I wasn't paying too much attention. Very scary Hinnom army. Maybe Hinnom can get a peace treaty out of this with Sauromatia. Does he storm the fort? He does storm the fort, so let's go ahead and follow up with that. There's a little bit of stuff inside. Maybe should have had this stuff sally out. Maybe that was a missed command. Or maybe his plan here is to clog the gate. The fatigue on the Rephite, though, is super effective. So they're going to kill that one at least. They get another? All their archery might get a Sayer or two as well. They don't have particularly high protection. Alright. So what's the tally? Oh, killed 4 Rephites. I only saw 2, I think, die. Probably blind a little bit. Did pick up a number of Sayer kills. No, Sayur are pretty valuable to Hinnom right now, but still loses the fort, loses a number of mages. Losing 2 Witch Kings feels pretty bad. That's 1,000 gold, which definitely is a lot more than the ref fights. So, alright, so Hinnom with a huge victory in Zimiki and takes the fort. Let's see how he does elsewhere. We've got a raiding party. We finally see the National Long Dead come out with the Mazics, so very nice. This is a lot of PD though. So this attack probably fails. Did they get all the leadership? Oh, they did. Wow, those Mazics were clutch. Alright, so it succeeds then. Mazics are very similar to imps. They've got pretty high defense skill, they've got claws. You get 2 attacks per claw. And otherwise they're flyers, they don't need to eat, they're demons, and they're stealthy, which is also pretty cool. Alright. So another victory for Hinnom. Let's see if Sauromatia can win a raid. So we've got this cavalry group. This should win. So a small silver lining for Sauromatia. Oh wait, there's a milk cart here. Maybe not. I didn't notice the milk cart. This turn is horrible for Sauromatia. Oh no. Okay. I think that's most of Sauromatia's military. Okay. Then we've got Flemistan. We've got another Sauromatian raid. This one's probably small. Yeah, group of Oreopata. Okay, do we finally see a success? We do. Alright. Takes out the 1 PD. And then, yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look. So this is still fairly dire for Hinnom, but he made big moves this turn for effectively knocking a player out of the coalition. Now, Sauromatia has a lot of foreign recruit. He can rehire these lancers, especially with all the room in his upkeep now, very quickly. And you can see a lot of that foreign recruit happening. There's different cavalry all over the place getting foreign recruited. He's also probably full recruiting in his capital, so he's got Oreopata, he's got Cataphracts. So he will recover pretty quickly. Now, Hinnom has a choice where this army can commit on its, sort of like a death march or base trade. It's not completely a base trade because it wouldn't be impacting Lanka's capital. Now, Lanka should see this and know what's coming. This is a lot of stuff coming out of the ground. But this Hinnom force has the option. It could move towards Sauromatia's capital, or it could try to break back towards its cut-off capital and try to knock Lanka off of its capital. Importantly, the capital did not get broken. It is a Hinnom giant fort. It's got 1,500 wall strength, which is very hefty. There's some additional Hinnom stuff down here that we haven't seen quite move out yet. There's another milk cart down here as well. Hinnom might actually get out of this. I'm not sure. I think Lanka might have to recall this army. The timing for this, it really makes me wonder if Xibalba's been in communication with Hinnom. So he just happens to be leaving the caves right as Lanka moves on to Hinnom's capital. And I don't think this many Palankasha is going to be enough to hold on against this much Xibalba stuff. There is a fort here with a lot of Solus and Bandar. But Xibalba could try to just put that under siege and keep it under siege. He doesn't necessarily have to storm. It's also the Throne of Misfortune. He could just hope it gets a bad event. It's got Misfortune 4. It would not surprise me if a night attack attacked this, or these barbarians moved on to this. So, I mean, this stuff could go here. This army, it's mostly Shade Beasts. I think it could handle the swamp potentially. It could go in here. This army could come here. Now, this army might lose to these Palankasha, but cutting Lanka's income off, I think, should be a high priority for this army. So maybe actually you have both of these doggo units. They come to Eric's. This army moves to Nightmarsh. Now, Lanka might anticipate that and have everything gather in Nightmarsh. But if you take Nightmarsh, not only do you destroy this Lanka temple, but he doesn't have any other forts in this whole region. You're going to cut off all of this income. And it doesn't look like he's got anything under construction either. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. So you would probably cut Lanka's income more than in half. This barbarian attack just happened that cut off this Lankan income. So he's already lost income from 3 provinces. Taking Nightmarsh removes a ton more income. And as long as you hold Eric's at the same time, because I don't think the income will trace through the ocean. It might. Yeah, it might still, but maybe there's a thug or something that could get down here, or you could raid Star Peaks. But I think that should be a very high priority for Xibalba, is cutting off all of this income from this whole empire that he's got. And the timing could not be better, because the main Lankan field army is engaged on Hinnom's capital. And he's going to hate having to turn it around, because he's already lost thugs in the raiding game. So he's already made some commitments here. And yeah, he's gotten some income for it, but it's not a lot of income. We're talking about Hinnom lands here. Every time Hinnom walks through something, it unrests like crazy. I think he pillaged this to get some income as well. But it's not a lot of ongoing income or gem income for that matter. And he's definitely not going to want to see his capital put under siege, because that kills a turn of recruitment from Palankasha every turn that it's under siege. All right. The other question is, will Helheim, upon maybe hearing or seeing Xibalba do something, take advantage and try to raid some of this Lankan stuff? Now, my guess is, based on their previous peace agreements that probably included a NAP 3, Lanka's going to want to hold to that NAP 3. So maybe not just yet. This guy's building a fort. I think if you've got misfortune scales in a province where you're building a fort, yes, 21 PD is really good. That'll stop indie attacks based on PD, but there's still a lot of other bad events and indie attacks that are, centered on other stuff like misfortune, deaths, scales. And I'd probably leave a small military force there to protect it. But right now we've got what looks like the main sacred stack here in Helheim. Now, maybe it's glamored up in some way where even my spy can't see it. That could be the case. We still have the huge giant concentration right next to Tianqi. Tianqi's army is gathered in the capital for the most part. There's some garrisons in forts, although this fort is pretty empty. Berytos has moved into Troll Peaks. I believe this was his province, though, originally, if I remember right. Let me see. Yeah, so that is Berytos land, but I mean, Tianqi still lost this stuff. Yeah, so he originally owned this. He originally owned this. I don't think he owned these two. Okay. So he's already lost 2 provinces to Helheim. It looks like Mekone's about to invade. He's taken a lot of attrition on Old Forest, bumping with Fomoria and a bit, and Ulm. It looks like he's hired mercenaries to try and deal with the fortress that Ulm has. Oh, my phone's going off. Okay. So Tianqi's position is looking definitely a little bit more dire, but he's got an increasing number of demons of heavenly fires. They're not showing up in the count, but demons of the heavenly rivers, I think is what they're called. He's also getting them. He's got a very large army of about 400 troops, including his pretender. He's got a number of mages. So he's going to be very difficult to kill. Fomoria, meanwhile, is guarding his fortification. That's something I do like to see. This army should be able to kill any independent event that shows up. And then after that, I think he'll decide on someone to attack. We'll have to see who that is. He may also try to vulture Tianqi. Or he might try to vulture Sauromatia. I mean, there could definitely be some opportunities there. Although Sauromatia looks defenseless this turn, and in some ways they are, but in a few turns, I think they'll have a whole new army. I don't think it'll take them very long to recover. The foreign recruit potential of Sauromatia is very high, and they still have a lot of income. So if you notice their rating here, he's tracing income through here, all the way around. So Hinnom hasn't cut off his rating income. He's actually connected income from all of this. So he should have a very high income and a very high capacity to replace troops. The tricky part for him is trying to come up with answers for these Rephites. The mannequins, I think it was mannequins in the gateway. That was very clever. It scored him a few kills. Lanka moving on for a turn has killed a turn of recruitment of Rephites. So in some ways, Hinnom's lost maybe, I don't know, 10 Rephites this turn, in effect. So they, in some ways, they are wearing down this Rephite count. So we're looking at 27 in this army. He killed a bunch of the Seir in this storm attempt. So we're down to 18 Seir, 27 Rephites. You keep wearing him down like this, eventually you will kill this army. It's a shame he wasn't able to evacuate these mages. He was probably bringing these Witch Kings up to help lead his army and provide some magic support, and they just got cut off because of Hinnom's move. And we still haven't seen these shrimp soldiers come out to raid at all either. Now this is 87 income. It could be worth it, just worth their upkeep just to keep them patrolling here. There's also not really any immediate raiding opportunities. He might be keeping them here to raid up onto the surface and then retreat. Let's see. What do I think Hinnom will do? He's got two options. He could try to back clear. So this army could split and try to retake two of these. It could also maybe move, like maybe this group could raid here. This army could move back and try to start marching back on the capital. This Melkart could continue trying to raid. Since he's defeated the main group, there is another raiding party here. It says it's 20, but it's actually 5 Oryapata. A number of the Lancers, though, might have been retreated units from this. The chieftain might have taken them there. So this might be Sauromatia's new raiding force down here. He's got another squad of Oryapata here. This might, if it doesn't die, if it's got leadership, it could move and start becoming a new group. The rest of this, I don't think looks like much. I think there's a group here and a group here. So Sauromatia looks like it has 4 raiding parties still, which, considering the attrition that they've taken, it's a testament to the nation and also to the player that they're able to still throw up effective raiding parties. They're still tracing income. So the question for Hinnom is, does he take this full force and try to march on Sauromatia's capital? Or does he divide his army, do some counter raiding, try to clean up a lot of these small Lancer stacks? Or does he march his full army back to Hinnom? The question for Hinnom is, and I think for him it should be obvious that he should pull his main army back. This is a lot of Xibalba stuff that's shown itself. It's pretty clear that they're planning to attack. You could always confirm with maybe like a diplomatic message asking for an app 3. And when they don't say anything or they decline it, then you know. Yeah, it's got Aussies in it. Yeah, I think you absolutely need to pull this army back. And it might not be able to map move too. So it might go to Spring Bay, 1, 2. So it might be a couple of turns away. So I don't think Lanka's going to stick on that siege. If he does, he'll stick for 1 turn and hope that all the Xibalba stuff is going for Dragon Scale. But I think seeing all these troops here in the wheel should confirm that it's not going for Dragon Scale. And it's not all in one large group. So I think Lanka needs to pull back, including this stuff down here. So if Hinnom goes for the attack on the capital for Sauromatia, he might not know it, but I think it could work out for him. I'm not sure if he's talking to Xibalba, but yeah, if he goes for the cap, yes, there's a lot of raiding parties running around, but once his cap goes free, then he could end up creating new raiding parties fairly quickly and start trying to put out some of these fires back here in the back lines. Hmm. But this should kill another turn of recruitment, because Hinnom, unless he's communicating with Xibalba, he wouldn't know that this army is probably going to move off. And so there's probably going to be a turn where maybe a soulless is left on there, and then he's going to have to go kill that soulless. So still a pretty effective move on the capital for Lanka in terms of holding Hinnom back. The other thing Hinnom can do is he can take, yeah, he could take this army back down here to try and kill this army, knowing that Sauromatia will have to re-siege this fort. This isn't a particularly valuable fort at the moment because he can't recruit from it. So that might be a plan. And then he can start trying to clear up his backlines, and then it turns into a 1v1 potentially, or mostly. Unless Xibalba really takes a bad defeat, but I think Xibalba is going to be very tricky for Lanka. A lot of very high morale stuff. He's not going to care about the Obless. Let's see. Yeah, he's not going to care about Oz. It's just quickness and blood surge for the vast majority of this stuff. I mean, we're Shade Beasts, Berserking, Cynos. I mean, granted, he's probably not going to have too many of them just go straight Berserk. They're just going to die if they get hit by a Palankasha. But if they do survive, or they get hit by a friendly arrow, then they'll go Berserk. They won't care about Awe. A lot of Scorpions. I don't think the Scorpions care about morale. Oh, they do. Only the big ones. It's funny that the big ones become more cowardly. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, this is getting really interesting now. Very much looking forward to this. And we might get, I'm still hoping we get action very soon between Mekone and Tianchi. I'm not sure what Helheim's plans are. Is probably going to continue scaling. He's probably excited to have killed someone and is not getting coalition for it after the Asphodel game. What happened here? Oh, he got attacked by a Dryad Mother. So, yeah, definitely pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at graphs. For provinces, we've got Lanka, Sauromatia, Berytos, and Helheim. But this is a very, this could start reversing very soon. We'll have to see. Sauromatia up a lot as well. Hinnom's down. For forts, we've got Berytos, Tianchi. Did Mekone lose a fort? What is this line? No. Who went? Oh, Sauromatia lost a fort and Hinnom went up one. Okay. Then we've got income. We've got Berytos and out in front, followed by Sauromatia. Then we've got Mekone and Tianchi. For gem income, we've got Helheim and Marverni. Pretty significantly out ahead. It could be event income, but they might have also had a good turn site searching. We could check both of them. For blood income, we've got Berytos and Xibalba and Hinnom. This is probably from Xibalba mobilizing, whereas this is Berytos continuing to ramp up. This was some of these drops were probably from Unrest and maybe moving hunters around. With research, we've got Berytos, Tianchi, Marverni, Helheim, and Fomoria. All players that have not fought a true war yet. They've maybe done fighting for a couple of turns, but they haven't fought an existential war, so to speak, just yet. For Dominion, we've got Hinnom, Tianchi, Lanka, Marverni, and Helheim. Then everyone else. For army size, Berytos still way out in front. Xibalba just passed her on the back of its tremendous number of summons and also probably ramping up unit production for a war. Ur's probably stopped producing a lot of units and is focusing on research. So this is probably mostly mage recruitment. And then we've got Tianchi and Lanka. All right. And then we can see the impact of this particular turn on Sauromatia's army graph. Hinnom took some attrition, but not nearly as much. So he went down a little bit. And then Lanka actually increased the size of their military. So yeah, looking forward to some more significant action coming up here. Very bold plays by some players. Looking forward to seeing a lot more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.